What are the best compact crossover SUVs that you can buy in 2022? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Up Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. If you're in the market for a compact crossover SUV priced roughly between $35,000 to $45,000, then this video is for you. I'm going to go through 5 of the very best SUVs that you can buy in 2022, not only in terms of their performance, design, and fuel economy, but also in terms of their reliability, overall operating costs, and value for money too. So if you're thinking of buying an affordable compact SUV to hold on to for say upwards of 10 to 15 years, then these are the 5 best ones to focus on. And because gas prices are a huge concern for a lot of buyers, I'm going to include both gas SUVs and hybrid SUVs on this list for those who are looking to save the most amount of money possible. And if you enjoy and get value out of this video, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. I post 2 videos a week, always straight to the point, valuable car buying advice designed to help you, the consumer. So let's get this list started with my number 5 pick, which is going to be the Subaru Forester. Now, if you're just looking for a simple, well-designed SUV that's reliable, built to last, and offers really good value for your money, then you really can't go wrong choosing the Subaru Forester. The Forester is powered by a 2.5-liter boxer 4-cylinder engine matched with a continuously variable CVT transmission and Subaru's famous symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Now, admittedly, this drivetrain doesn't exactly offer the very best power and fuel economy in its class, but it is adequate for most, and it is a very reliable drivetrain, so it's a good choice for those who are looking to buy a Forester and keep for a very long time. This is a very smooth, great driving SUV though, with a bit of off-road capability thanks to that amazing full-time all-wheel drive system, especially if you go for the wilderness trim, which gives you a little bit more off-road capability, plus a towing capability of up to 3,000 pounds. With the Forester, you also get a very well-designed, spacious interior that gives you a lot of features for the price point, including Subaru's EyeSight active safety technology, which helps make this a very safe driving SUV. Now, for those who do want a little bit more power than what the Forester offers, you could go for the slightly larger Outback crossover, which does give you the option of a 2.4-liter turbo engine with a lot more performance. If you're okay with the power of the base engine, however, then I think the Forester is a better buy than the Outback, mostly due to its lower price, the fact that it has almost as much interior space, and the fact that it has a much simpler control setup too. Unlike the Outback, which has a pretty frustrating to use portrait-style infotainment system, with the Forester you get a simple infotainment touchscreen with simple to use buttons and controls below, which is a lot better for usability. So why exactly did the Forester come in 5th place on this list? Well, even though this is a very well-designed SUV, like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't exactly give you the best power and fuel economy in its class, and it also doesn't give you the option of a hybrid either. It's also not exactly the most stylish or sophisticated SUV that you can buy. It's really a good choice for those who are just looking for something simple, reliable, built to last, that's going to get the job done. But if you are looking for something with a little bit more style, a nicer interior, and maybe a sportier driving feel, then take a look at my number 4 pick on this list, which is going to be the Mazda CX-5. Over the last several years, Mazda has really done a phenomenal job improving the quality of their cars, making them extremely reliable and long-lasting. And the CX-5 is a great example of this. It uses a simple, naturally aspirated 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine with a conventional 6-speed automatic transmission and standard all-wheel drive. Now, it might not sound like the most sophisticated drivetrain that you can get, but it is very reliable and built to last, making this a great SUV to buy and hold on to for a very long time. It also gives you a pretty good amount of power and decent fuel economy too, but for those who want a lot more performance, you can also get the CX-5 with a much more powerful 2.5-liter turbocharged engine that gives you almost as much power as a much more expensive luxury SUV. Either way, the CX-5 is a great driving crossover with excellent handling, good ride quality, and a very engaging, fun overall feel. It also feels surprisingly luxurious too, with a very upscale interior that makes it feel a lot more expensive than it really is. Now, the CX-5 is not exactly the most spacious crossover that you can buy in this segment. It also doesn't give you the option of a hybrid, which is also its biggest drawback. But if you're okay with the lack of a hybrid and you're okay with the interior space that you get, this is one of the very best crossovers that you can buy for the price point. If you like everything that the CX-5 has to offer, but just wish for a little bit more interior space, then you're in luck, because you can just take a look at number 3 on my list, which is the Mazda CX-50. The CX-50 was introduced for the 2023 model year as a slightly larger, more adventurous version of the CX-5. For the most part, the two crossovers do share a lot in common, including the exact same drivetrains, a choice between either a 2.5 naturally aspirated engine or a more powerful 2.5 turbo engine. You also get the same 6-speed automatic transmission and standard all-wheel drive. Now all of this is a very good thing because, like I mentioned earlier with the CX-5, this is a great performing drivetrain with a good amount of power, decent fuel economy, and a great reputation for reliability too. You also get the same great driving experience with the CX-50 and a very well designed interior space too. Compared to the CX-5, the CX-50 does have a very similar feeling interior with a similar infotainment system and control setup. But the bonus is that you do get a little bit more interior space and a larger cargo area too, which makes this a more practical SUV to use every day. It's also a little bit more off-road capable too, and if you need to do any kind of towing, you can tow up to 2,000 pounds with the base engine or up to 3,500 pounds with the more powerful turbo engine. And the best part is that even though the CX-50 offers a lot of advantages over the CX-5, it really doesn't cost a whole lot more. The CX-50 really is a great value for what you're getting, especially given the fact that not only does this feel like a very upscale luxury SUV, but it's also incredibly reliable and built to last too. Really, the only knock against the CX-50 is that, much like the CX-5, you just can't get it with a hybrid option, at least not yet. Fortunately, a hybrid CX-50 is eventually coming to North America, most likely sometime in 2023 or maybe even 2024. But until that time, if you are looking to save a lot more money on gas, then let's move on to my number 2 pick on this list, which is the Toyota Venza. Unlike the other SUVs on this list, the Toyota Venza is exclusively available as a hybrid, making it the most fuel-efficient SUV that you can buy so far on this list. And it is very fuel efficient, able to achieve up to around 40 miles per gallon or 6 liters per 100 kilometers, making it around 30 to 40% more fuel efficient than any comparable gas SUV. And not only is it very fuel efficient, but this is also a great driving SUV with more than adequate power, a very smooth ride, and a quiet driving experience too. Toyota is one of the most experienced car makers when it comes to building hybrids. They've been making them longer than most, and they also make some of the most durable, long-lasting hybrids on the market too. If you want a fuel-efficient SUV that's going to last you a very long time with minimal repair costs, you really can't go wrong choosing a Toyota hybrid. And because they're known to be so reliable and long-lasting, they also have very strong resale value too. But not only is the Venza a very economical and well-built SUV, but it's also a very stylish one too, with a surprisingly upscale interior. With the Venza, Toyota was aiming to make an SUV that was pushing a little bit closer towards a Lexus, but without the higher price point. And you can really see where Toyota was going with that because the Venza does have a very nice interior with a lot of great technology. That being said, I'm not the biggest fan of the larger infotainment system with the touch-sensitive controls below. They can be a little bit distracting to use while driving and a little bit frustrating when compared to simple buttons and knobs. Aside from the control setup, the only other issue with the Venza is the pricing. It is a little bit more expensive than other comparable hybrid SUVs. So if you like all the benefits that the Venza has to offer, including the great design, reliability, and amazing fuel economy, but in a more affordable package, then just take a look at number 1 on my list, which is the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. The RAV4 Hybrid is easily one of the very best crossover SUVs that you can buy in 2022. Anybody who wants a practical, well-designed, and reliable SUV with amazing fuel economy really doesn't need to look any further than this. The RAV4 Hybrid uses the exact same hybrid system found in the Venza, a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine with a pair of electric motors and standard all-wheel drive. Now if you want, you can also get the RAV4 with a less expensive regular gas engine, a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder making just over 200 horsepower, with a choice with either front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive and an 8-speed automatic transmission. You can also get the RAV4 as a plug-in hybrid with the RAV4 Prime, which produces over 300 horsepower and gives you a dedicated electric range of around 40 miles or 65 kilometers. The only issue with the gas engine is that it's not significantly cheaper than the hybrid, so it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense in my opinion. And the issue with the RAV4 Prime is limited availability. Because it's such a desirable SUV, you really can't buy one without paying a huge price premium or waiting at least 1 to 2 years. So for all these reasons, the hybrid really makes the most sense in the RAV4 lineup. It really does give you all the benefits that you get with the Venza, including the exact same driving experience, the same drivetrain and fuel economy for around $4,000 to $5,000 less, which makes it an amazing value. And because it has that same great reputation for reliability and longevity, you also get the same amazing resale value too. And you're not really sacrificing anything when it comes to the interior space either. This is a very well designed interior with a more straightforward control setup than what you get in the Venza. The RAV4 uses the same basic touchscreen infotainment system with simpler buttons and control knobs, which make it a lot more straightforward to use. You also have more or less the same amount of interior space and cargo space, making this a very practical SUV too. If you're just looking for a well-designed SUV that gives you amazing fuel economy, great features and safety for the money, and also an amazing reputation for reliability and longevity, it's easily one of the best crossovers that you can buy at the price point. Now, some of you might be wondering why some of the other SUVs available on the market didn't make the top 5 list. The Honda CR-V, for example, is also a very well-designed and generally reliable SUV. The only real reason why it didn't make one of the top 5 spots is because it is going to be replaced with an all-new design for 2023, so the existing outgoing 2022 model is a little bit dated when compared to some of the other SUVs on this list. And then, of course, you have the SUVs from brands like Hyundai and Kia, which are some of the more popular options too. Now, there's no question, SUVs like the Hyundai Tucson and the brand new Kia Sportage, or the Sportage in Canada, are very well designed SUVs, and they even give you the choice of hybrid and plug-in hybrid options, which is really great to see too. But the main reason I couldn't include these SUVs on this list is that one of the main criteria of this list is long-term reliability. And if you're planning on buying an SUV to keep for as long as possible, the Hyundai and Kia might not exactly be the best options to go with. Unfortunately, both companies have a pretty severe history of engine problems, including oil consumption with the engines, engine fires, and even complete engine failure. So ultimately, if you are looking for the best built, most reliable, and longest lasting SUVs that you can buy with minimal operating costs, then you definitely want to focus on brands like Mazda and Toyota. The SUVs chosen for this list have the best reputations for longevity, and they are the safest ones to buy. So let me know what you thought of the top 5 SUVs on this list. Which one of them would you buy for around $35,000 to $45,000? Or would you buy something else instead? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. You can also check out some of my other car videos by checking out these links over here. Make sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram. And if you need additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to check out carhelpcanada.com. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.